Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jayam Vishubha Taramam Sapriva Jagacharya Ashutara Sata Sri Srimati Svandes Esi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishubha Taramam Sapriva Jagacharya Ashutara Sata Sri Srimati Svandes Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavana Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sikho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Jamuna Mai Ki Jai, Srimati Tulasi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Sri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Sri Radha Madan Mohan Ki Jai, Sri Govind, Sri Gaur Nitai Ki Jai, Sri Jagannath Subhadra Baladev Ki Jai, Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the Sambhavatis, all glories to the Sambhavatis, all glories to the Sambhavatis, all glories to Sri Guru Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine, Namaste Saraswati Deve, Gauravani Pachadine, Nirvesesha Sunyavadi, Paschata Devatarine. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. It's not coming. Well, there is no current. So a number of slokas don't have any purport here. From sloka number 20, 4th skanda, 19th chapters, sloka number 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So I shall read these slokas, then we shall see sloka number 30. Sloka number 20. Hata vasishta itare ranajirat raksho ganan kshatriya varya sayakahi prayo vivikna vayava viruddho murgendra vikridita yutapa iva. Translation. The remaining Yakshas, who somehow or other were not killed, had their limbs cut to pieces by the arrows of the great warrior Dhruva Maharaj. Thus they began to flee, just as elephants flee when defeated by a lion. Sloka number 21. Apasyamana sattada tatayinam mahamrude kanchanamana bhattamaha purim didukshanna pina visadvisham namayinam veda chikirsitam janaha. Translation. Dhruva Maharaj, the best of human beings, observed that in that great battlefield, not one of the opposing soldiers was left standing with proper weapons. He then desired to see the city of Alakapuri, but he thought to himself, no one knows the plans of the mystic Yakshas. Sloka number 22. Iti bhuvan chitrarata swasaratin yatta paresham padiyoga sankitaha susrava sabdam jaladeri veritam navasvato dikshurajon vadhushyata. Translation. In the meantime, while Dhruva Maharaj, doubtful of his mystic enemies, was talking with his charioteer, they heard a tremendous sound as if the whole ocean were there. And they found that from the sky, a great death storm was coming over them from all directions. Sloka number 23. Chanena chaditam yoma ganani kena sarvataha vispurattadita dikshu trasayat stanayit nuna. Translation. Within a moment, the whole sky was overcast with dense clouds, and severe thundering was heard. There was glittering electric lightning and severe rainfall. Sloka number 24. Vavrushu rudiro gasrik puya vinbhutramedasaha nipetur gaganadasya kabandhanyagrato nago kabandhanyagrato naga. Translation. My dear faultless Vidura, in that rainfall there was blood, mucus, pus, stool, urine, and marrow falling heavily before Dhruva Maharaj, and there were trunks of bodies falling from the sky. Sloka number 25. Tatakye drishyatagirihi nipetu sarato disham gada pariga nistrinsha musala shasma varshinaha. Translation. Next, a great mountain was visible in the sky, and from all directions hailstones fell, along with lances, clubs, swords, iron bludgeons, and great pieces of stone. Sri Sri Gaur Nitai ki jai. Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan ki jai. Sri Sri Jagannath Subhadra Baladev ki jai. Sloka number 26. Ahayo sani nisvasa vamantognim rushakshivihi abhyadhavan gajamattaha simhavyagrasya yutasaha. Translation. Dhruva Maharaj also saw many big serpents with angry eyes, vomiting forth fire and coming to devour him, along with groups of mad elephants, lions, and tigers. Sloka number 27. Samudra urmibir bhimaha plavayan sarvato bhuvam asasada maharadaha kalpantaiva bhishanaha. Translation. Then, as if it were the time of the dissolution of the whole world, the fierce sea with foaming waves and great roaring sounds came forward before him. Sloka number 28. Evam vidanyalekani trasananyamanasvinam sasujju stigmagataya asurya mayaya suraha. Translation. The demon Yaksas are by nature very heinous, and by their demoniac power of illusion, they can create many strange phenomena to frighten one who is less intelligent. Sloka number 29. Dhruve prayukta masurahi tamaya madidustaram nisamyatasya munayaha samasamsan samagataha. Translation. When the great sages heard that Dhruva Maharaj was overpowered by the illusory mystic tricks of the demons, they immediately assembled to offer him auspicious encouragement. Sloka number 13. Munaya Uchuhu Autanapada Bhagavanstava Sarangadanva Devakshino Travanatati Haro Vipakshan Yannamadeyam Avidhaya Nisamya Chadha Lokonjasa Tarati Dustaramanga Mrityum. Is it coming? No. Huh? Coming. Munaya Uchuhu Autanapada Bhagavanstava Sarangadanva Devakshino Tvamanatarti Haro Vipakshan Yannamadheyam Avidhaya Nisamya Radha Yannamadheyam Avidhaya Nisamya Chadha Lokonjasa Tarati Dustaramanga Mrityum. Munaya Uchuhu Autanapada Bhagavanstava Sarangadanva Devakshino Tvamanatarti Haro Vipakshan Yannamadheyam Avidhaya Nisamya Chadha Lokonjasa Tarati Dustaramanga Mrityum. Vaishnavas. Munaya Uchu. The sages said, Uttanapada, O son of King Uttanapada, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Tava, your Sarangadhanva, one who bears the bow called Saranga, Devaha, the Lord, Chinotu, may he kill Avanata, of the surrendered soul. Arti, the distresses. Haraha, who removes. Vipakshan, enemies, yet whose Namadheyam, holy name, Abhidhaya, uttering, Nisamya, hearing, Cha, also, Adha, immediately, Lokaha, persons, Anjasa, fully, Tarati, overcome, Dustaram, insurmountable, Anga, O Dhruva, Mrityum, death. Translation: all the sages said, Dear Dhruva, O son of King Uttanapada, may the Supreme Personality of Godhead, known as Sarangadhanva, who relieves the distresses of his devotees, kill all your threatening enemies. The holy name of the Lord is as powerful as the Lord himself. Therefore, simply by chanting and hearing the holy name of the Lord, many men can be fully protected from fierce death without difficulty. Thus a devotee is saved. Please repeat. All the sages said, Dear Dhruva, O son of King Uttanapada, may the Supreme Personality of Godhead, known as Sarangadhanva, who relieves the distresses of his devotees, kill all your threatening enemies. The holy name of the Lord is as powerful as the Lord himself. Therefore, simply by chanting and hearing the holy name of the Lord, many men can be fully protected from fierce death without difficulty. Thus a devotee is saved. Purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. The great rishis approached Dhruva Maharaj at a time when his mind was very perplexed due to the magical feats exhibited by the Yaksas. A devotee is always protected by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By his inspiration only, the sages came to encourage Dhruva Maharaj and assure him that there was no danger because he was a soul fully surrendered to the Supreme Lord. By the grace of the Lord, if a devotee at the time of death can simply chant his holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Simply by chanting the Mahamantra, he immediately surpasses the great ocean of the material sky and enters the spiritual sky. He never has to come back for repetition of birth and death. Simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can surpass the ocean of death. So Dhruva Maharaj was certainly able to surpass the illusory magical feats of the Yakshas, which for the time being disturbed his mind. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 4th canto, 10th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Dhruva Maharaj Fight with the Yakshas. Om Jnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Sarakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutali Swayam Rupa Godamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakambitansya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesya Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Padamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatrubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We have gone through the end of this chapter entitled Dramaaraj Fight with the Yaksas. So this is about the end of the fight between Dramaaraj and the Yakshas. For Dramaaraj, it was very difficult to fight against so many Yaksha enemies. He considered all of them to be his enemies because one of them had killed his brother, Uttama. So he had a grudge against all these Yakshas, Rakshasas, and other population groups of people from Bhuvaloka. They had all assembled to fight against Dhruva, but this battle actually was not necessary. Now the holy sages, they were observing this fight from above and considering that after all Dhruva Maharaj is a great devotee of the Lord, why should he be in such a trouble? So they advised Dhruva Maharaj to completely rely upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead and give up this fight. Then just after that, Manu, the Swayambhuva Manu, the grandfather of Dhruva Maharaj, will also come to stop this unnecessary fight. So these Yakshas, they have special powers, and if one is not aware of this, then he can easily be put into great trouble. They can produce anything. They can make a show, just like they made a show of violent rain. It was not ordinary rain. Rain was flowing, dropping blood, pus, mucus, and all types of dirty substances, and even dead bodies, and so on. So it was very disgusting. But for the Yaksha, it is a sign of victory. They are very happy when they can produce such a display of might or mystic power. They have the power to do that. Every single species has its own power. The ant has its own power. An ant can pierce the skin, even the skin of an elephant. Sometimes the ant can inflict pain to an elephant. And every species in this way has some type of defense system, whereby he can oppose enemy. So the Yakshas, Rakshasas, they have their own system of defense. We have our own, and other species of life, they have their own defense system. Tigers, lions, and other carnivorous animals, they have a very powerful system of defense. As far as human beings are concerned, they are trying to improve their system of defense. It is in the modern world, especially, we have seen that all the governments, practically, they are very busy manufacturing weapons and storing them. If there is no war for the time being, let all these weapons be stored so that if in the future there is a war, then they can be used. So the governments spend a very large amount of money. It is the main investment for all the governments. And if any government does not do that, then there will be opposition from the people. People will tell, you see, this country, that country, they have so many weapons, and you, useless government, you are not producing weapons. So that government will go. It will be set aside. And some strong government, they will start to manufacture and accumulate weapons. So everybody is in fear. Material world means a fearful situation always. And people always are very much anxious to have a suitable defense system. So earlier we were using simple weapons, just like lances, bows, arrows, and gada to fight, swords. But in the modern world, they have manufactured very powerful bombs, atomic bombs, nuclear bombs, so that they can eventually, they have already used them in the Second World War against Japan, America, through some atomic bombs that killed lakhs of people. These people had nothing to do with the war, only indirectly because they were Japanese people, but they were not Kshatriyas, they were not involved in the fight. The bomb fell into Nagasaki and innocent people were living in the city. They had nothing to do with the war as such, but they were killed. So this is completely against the Kshatriya Dharma. The Kshatriya will never fight against a person who is not involved in any war, in any opposition. He will fight only against equal Kshatriyas, not against the ordinary public. But in the modern times, the war is against everybody. It is not just against the soldiers fighting against each other, but it is against also the general population. Any moment, some atomic bomb may come and destroy everything. Lakhs of people die. So in this world nowadays, we have completely lost sight of the Kshatriya spirit. No more Kshatriya Dharma. In the age of Kali, everything is adharma, opposite. Even those who are supposed to be Kshatriyas, most of them do not fight directly. They will not go on the war field. They will be comfortably seated in their office, air-conditioned office, and they will have some buttons. And this button is for this weapon, that weapon. They'll press a button, then some rocket will go by pressing a button and will go against the enemy camp. Like this, from a very comfortable position, they will simply in this way participate, but without any active involvement, only by the help of some technology, they are able to do so. But this is not the way of fighting in the traditional sense. Traditionally, the warriors are coming together and are engaged in fighting with the hand weapons or arrows and bows. So in the Mahabharata, there's an extensive description of the war between the Pandavas and Kauravas in the Bhishma Parva, Drona Parva, Karna Parva, Salya Parva, all these fights between the two camps are described. And this is very interesting because there is personal involvement of these great heroes. And Lord Krishna is on the side by the Pandavas. He is guiding Arjuna as a charioteer. So there cannot be any defeat for the Pandavas. Even though the Pandavas, they were outnumbered. At the beginning, there was a description that Kauravas are 13 Akshohinis, the Pandavas only 7. So just about half of the amount of soldiers and equipment, chariots, elephants, horses, about half only was on the side of the Pandavas. So the opposite enemy was much stronger in terms of number of participants. But Lord Krishna was with the Pandavas, and therefore victory was certainly on the side of the Pandavas. Whatever may be the, superiority, physical superiority of the enemy. But physical superiority does not count when Krishna is on our side. So if we want to be successful in our life, we have to keep Krishna with us. We should make Krishna our friend and think of him always, so that by becoming a devotee of Krishna, then all the troubles of life, whatever they may be, even if it is a big confrontation against so many enemies, but the devotee is always victorious. Yatra Yogeswara Krishna Tatra Partha Dhanurdharaha Tatra Sri Vijaya Bhuti Nitir Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Sanjaya tells Dhritarashtra that whenever there is the Supreme Lord of all mystic yoga, Yogeshwara Krishna, and along with him, Dhanurdhara Arjuna, there will be morality, there will be victory, there will be opulence, and everything, every good outcome will come out of this combination between Lord Krishna and his devotee. So here exactly we understand from this last sloka of the chapter, the Munaya, the great sages, they also tell the same to Dhruva Maharaj. You seem to be fighting alone, although you are a great devotee of the Lord. You have proved that you are a devotee. So how can you fight alone against these Yaksas? That is not proper. You take Krishna on your side. You utter his name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And you will see that all your troubles will be over within a short time. There can be only victory if you take Krishna on your side. So that was demonstrated. That will be demonstrated later on, because this comes before Battle of Kurukshetra. We are talking from Kali Yuga here. Kurukshetra battle was at the end of Dramaaraj Yuga. So it was demonstrated in the Battle of Kurukshetra how despite all odds against the Pandavas were able to overcome their enemy. And finally, even though actually the Pandavas were not, especially Arjuna, Yudhishthira, they were not enthusiastic in fighting and killing all these Kauravas and their allies, thinking that why should we fight and kill so many people? No, even if we are victorious, we are not actually interested. What kingdom? How shall we enjoy the kingdom if all these people, and on our side also many people will die? What is the use of having a kingdom if nobody is there to share the kingdom? We want that everybody should be alive and well, and we can manage somehow. We certainly can manage our life. Even in association with the Kauravas, we can make friendship, and our life will be more peaceful in this way. Yudhishthira and Arjuna, even after Arjuna received the message of Bhagavad Gita, at the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is giving the same idea. Why should I fight all our relatives and all our fathers, grandfathers, and teachers, and brothers-in-law, and so on? All these people are there in front of us. Oh Krishna, I am not interested to fight. I give up my weapon. Even if they kill me, I don't mind. I am not interested in this fight. So Lord Krishna then told the Bhagavad Gita that Kudastva kasmalamidam vishame samupastitam anarya jushtam asvargam akirti karan Arjuna. Oh Arjuna, what you are talking, you are Kshatriya, you belong to the Arya family. So you have to maintain the Dharma, Kshatriya Dharma. You cannot talk like this, like a person who is fearful or who has so many other ideas. Your idea should be to maintain Dharma. And you, as a Kshatriya, you have to maintain Kshatriya Dharma. A Kshatriya never leaves the battle when everything is arranged. He cannot leave the battlefield. He has to stand and fight against the enemy. Either he wins or he dies. Even if he dies, there is nothing lost. He'll go to Swarga. That place is there for those who die on the battlefield. So, in this contest, you have nothing to lose. So please, Arjuna, you just recover yourself from this weakness of heart, become strong, become a real Kshatriya, and fight against this Kaurava army. So in this way, Arjuna was given courage by Lord Krishna during this Bhagavad Gita. And, but later on, again, Arjuna is telling Krishna, oh Krishna, no, I don't want to fight anymore. In the middle of the battle, again, Arjuna is talking like this in the same manner. Similarly, Yudhishthira, he is also, he is not interested to kill so many Kauravas, soldiers, and so on. So, but the Kshatriya Dharma, at that time Lord Krishna told the Pandavas that this is your duty. I am telling you to fight. And because Arjuna is a devotee of Krishna, then he could understand finally that I have to obey whatever Krishna tells me. Yes, I will do. Karishye vachanam tava. So that was the determination of Arjuna at the end of the Bhagavad Gita. that he will do whatever Krishna is telling. So in this way, Lord Krishna can tolerate any amount of offense against himself, but he does not tolerate offenses against his devotees. The Pandavas had been many times offended by the Kauravas in many ways, and Krishna did not tolerate this. So Lord Krishna wanted to kill all these Kauravas who were responsible for this state of affair. They had, without any sense of morality and religion, they had offended Draupadi in the assembly, and they had taken away the kingdom that was the part. At least they could have given half of the kingdom to the Pandavas, but they were not even ready to give even what amount of space that is the size of a needle to the Pandavas. Pandavas had asked for, okay, give us 5 villages, we'll be happy. We have 5 Pandavas, 5 villages. What is that? They could have easily given, but they were not ready for that. So in this way, they were constantly offending the Pandavas. Krishna did not tolerate this. And Krishna had decided, so now let us have a fight, and the Pandavas will kill all these Kauravas, all Duryodhana, and all these 199 other brothers were killed by Bhima. And all the other fighters, they were also killed by all the Pandavas. So that is the benediction of Lord Krishna, that for the sake of his devotee, Lord Krishna will do everything for maintaining, protecting his devotee. And we know what is surrender. The devotee surrender to Lord Krishna. In this way can be called a devotee. And what is the symptom of surrender? One symptom is that the devotee is very confident that Lord Krishna will always protect him. And Lord Krishna will always maintain him. So this is the confidence of the devotee. In this way he can fully surrender and follow the Lord's instructions. So this combination between Krishna and his devotees cannot be broken by anybody. Even the Yakshas here, they proved to be very powerful. They have powers that cannot be exercised by the human beings. They have superior powers, but even then they will be defeated. Just like in the Battle of Kurukshetra also, they were on the side of the Kauravas, and even with the Pandavas, some of the Yakshas and Rakshasas, just like Bhima's son, Ghatotkacha. He also displayed mystic powers against the Rakshasas belonging to the Kaurava camp. They had some extraordinary fight with the same symptoms of calling oceans and rain and mountains and throwing big blocks and trees and so on. This Rakshasa, in the Battle of Kurukshetra, they also showed their power, but Ghatotkacha killed so many of them. Of course, ultimately, Ghatotkacha was killed also himself. Bhima was lamenting, why Ghatotkacha? But Lord Krishna is more concerned with the spiritual side. The body anyway will go sooner or later. So protection means, first of all, spiritual protection. As we engage ourselves in devotional service, and this is actually the way we can achieve the supreme perfection of life, love of Godhead, by constantly being engaged in devotional service. This is what Lord Krishna is protecting. We should never forget devotional service to the Lord. So that is our prayer, and Lord Krishna is fulfilling this prayer. The body may come and go. Another body may come in any species of life. But even if I take birth in the animal species, even a small worm, but I should never forget the lotus feet of the Lord. That is the prayer of the devotee. And Krishna is fulfilling that prayer. So, it is not that the devotees cannot give up their bodies, cannot be overcome by enemy. Sometimes they do so. But their devotional service is protected. And again, next life, they will have the opportunity to develop devotional service in love of Godhead. So that is the advice given by the Munis to Dhruva Maharaj. Please take shelter of the Lord's lotus feet by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And every auspicious, there will be auspicious consequence. You need not bother about anything else. Simply take shelter of Lord Krishna by chanting His holy name. So that is very good here. Srimad Bhagavatam giving a proof that the holy name of the Lord is as powerful as the Lord. People know the Lord is powerful, but not everybody knows that the holy name is as powerful as the Lord. So here's the confirmation in this sloka by the great Munis that the holy name of the Lord, when it is heard or when it is uttered very quickly, very easily, will save the whole situation to the benefit of the devotee. Hare Krishna. Any other questions or comments? Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.